We saw Passion of the Christ, whenever it came out.
Oh, yeah.
My dumb ass, right? When we walked out of the theater, there was like lines for it, right? Mm-hmm. I'm all, I can't believe the hero died at the end. Yeah. It was crazy. People were trying to kill me with their eyeballs. I'm like, well, you didn't know?
You didn't know? The Titanic sinks at the end.
But, so the other day...
It's not like in Glorious Bastards where Hitler dies, right? Right. It's not like that. So it's true to form.
I got some angry stares that day.
I'm sure you did. Okay, I don't know where, but the other day, there it is right there. So I have my affirmations on here. This is all real talk, by the way. You can leave this in. So I have all my affirmations, blah, blah, blah. Then at the bottom of it says, I am brown Jesus. And I was cracking up the other day because, you never know what kind of notes you're going to find around town.
Right.
That's just spirit, though, right? What's that quote that I used to say? No matter who's talking, God is speaking. Mm-hmm. So with all that being said, welcome to Augmented Teachings. I'm really excited about the show today. And the topic is about the disturbance in the desert. And there's been some disturbance in the desert, in the force, in the world. Yeah. And I'm really looking forward to diving in. So my name is Brandy, and I'm grateful to be here. Welcome to Augmented Teachings.
Trust in the journey. Let your spirit soar. With Augmented Teachings, we'll open the door.
I witnessed something in the high desert that was crazy. And the energy around the whole event was insane.
Yeah.
And I had to stop and take a couple pictures. Nick, if you could put those pictures up, I appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that.
I witnessed something that I hadn't seen before. And I want to break it down here on this show in a way for everybody to understand.
Okay.
So, first of all, people don't understand how God works. People think whatever the preacher tells them or whatever Fox News tells them, that's the way God works. They're woefully ill-prepared to tell you and explain to you the minutia of God. I will tell you right now, God is omnipresent. God is a energy source that creates all things through vibration. But there's certain caveats. God does not have a body. If God had a body, God could come here and experience what we're doing. And we wouldn't have to be here at all. So God could come here and experience its own creation, but God cannot. God does not have ears and nose and a mouth. And if that were the case, if God had a body, God cannot be omnipresent. God is omnipresent. But God connects with us through emotion, through feeling, through intent. That's how God connects to us. And it's at all times. Not sometimes, it's at all times. So if you look at those pictures and you show these people putting out hate and anger into the world, whenever another person receives that hate and anger, that soul is sending that information directly to God. So as this person sends it out, this person receives it, that hate and anger goes right to source, goes right to God itself, because God is always connected to us through emotion and through feeling and through thoughts. So as these people are putting that out, they are bringing down the vibration around them and how they interact with each other and ourselves. So, and they won't realize that until they go back home, because every emotion that is created by any individual is saved. And when you go back home, you watch your past review, they will be able to feel all the hate and anger they caused on that street corner.
Right, exactly.
And then they're asked, are you ready to stay here in heaven, or you need to go back? They're going to need to go back because they did not raise the vibration of the people around them. That's the goal.
Right.
So,
well, thank you for unpacking that.
That's the surface level. There's another thing that they had was to remove every Democrat. Removing a Democrat. Democrats lean left. They lean liberal. I don't identify as Democrat. I identify as a liberal. Liberals are older souls. Older souls are the ones here to teach the younger souls and help lean them towards love, compassion, and acceptance. If you removed all the liberals from the United States, you would literally fall right back into the Dark Ages, where the church would just run amok among our society, and it would cause a disturbance so bad that people would flee the country. You'd have the Inquisition started back up again. The liberals are here to make sure that doesn't happen, to make sure we don't de-evolve into a religious nightmare. Because religion isn't God. Religion is an interpretation of a book. So if you got rid of all the liberals, Democrats, it would just get into a chaotic world of hate, judgment, and punishment. Third, they are for ICE. And one of the things they don't realize is that God does not see your gender. God does not see your ethnicity. God does not see borders. God knows you through your emotions and your vibration. God sees your whole soul. God doesn't see. God feels your whole soul all at once, at all times. So you have a human being. You have a man, a woman, and their daughter. And they are standing on the Mexican border. They're on this side of the border, and they cross the border. There was no ill intent towards any other human being. Therefore, they're on the side of God. They go meet up with an uncle who finds work for them, picking lettuce or working construction, whatever. They're not hurting another human being. We only are judged in how we hurt other human beings, how we affect them. So on the side of God, they are. While the person, the ICE agent who comes in and destroys that family based on a law that is not pro-human. Liberals will always gravitate towards laws that protect humans. They will not embrace laws that hurt humans. Conservatives have no problem with it because they're young souls. This ICE agent that chose the money to hurt this family is not on the right side of God. Because when he destroys that family, guess who feels that? God does, immediately. But upon that ICE agent's return back home, he'll feel it immensely. Every time he destroyed a family. He took the money instead of aligning himself with love. He didn't have to take that job. He could have chose something other. But he chose the money and destroyed that family. Whether it was he wanted to do it because he was a racist, then he'll become that race.
Right.
Or B, he chose it because he wanted the money and chose money over love. And the root of all evil is the love of money. So I finished my opening.
Wow. Thank you for breaking that down. I know a lot of times we talk about these kind of conversations and topics are really a dialogue and not a monologue. And we always open up with, or we do our best to open up with a monologue because you have so much to unpack. And you had this experience yesterday, just like you had your experience, at I don't know, somewhere recently. And what it all comes down to is the intention of the person and their actions, right? Because we always have a choice in everything we say, we think, and we do. And that will show us the age of our soul. People ask us, oftentimes they'll come to us, in private or in group settings, and they'll say, well, how do I know the age of my soul? How do I know what lifetime I'm at or what I'm working with? The fact that you're asking that question is the fact that you care.
Right.
You have that innate feeling and wisdom that's driving you to even self-realize, self-understand. And I think a lot of these people don't have that. So I don't want to go too far away, but Robert, what do you want to bring to this whole disruption in the desert?
Well, definitely the disruption is real and it's happening everywhere, not just in the desert, right? We just happen to be here where, probably in a lot of communities, in the city communities, right? You see it in every corner, but here, when something's happening, it's very observable to the locals, right?
Yeah, we feel it's palpable.
Yeah, and so, going back to the first point Todd was making with that vibration and lowering the vibration, right? Especially not just lowering your vibration, but how that comes out, and then the people around you feed off of that. That is exactly the law of attraction. right? People sometimes think the law of attraction is what we see with our eyes, right? That's probably the law of lust,
Yes,
right?
yes.
The law of attraction is the vibration that we put out and others put out, and that harmonize together. And those people around you are like that also. Both low level vibration, low way of being, a purposeful low way of living. Because the choices are not mysteries. The choices are not in secret. Follow a map, bury where there's an X, and find a treasure.
Right.
The choices are right smack in their face. Are you going to treat this person kindly and with love? Are you going to treat this person as a human, which is the law of creator, the law of the natural world? It is maybe the law of your religion to love everybody, Jesus says, hanging in your church. Are you going to choose that, human? Or are you going to choose to hunt them? Are you going to choose to destroy those families for salary and stand behind the weak-spined excuse of, I'm just doing my job?
Right.
You have a choice to show up to that job daily. Right?
Right.
So the choice is not a mystery. It is a deliberate effort to live low. It is a deliberate effort to distance themselves from love and God and Creator and fellow human beings. And their vibration and the people around them, the president and his circle, doesn't matter their social economic status. The low level of human beings that they are, that's why they're all there. They attract each other like magnets,
Exactly.
right? But they're diseased.
Yeah.
And their vibration spreads out poison.
And unfortunately, they have not yet realized that. Not to cut you off,
No,
but it's
exactly.
like that's what I remind myself, because here we talk about things that inspire us to think better and feel better and do better, right? And we talk about the what and the how and the why. And the how for me is recognizing that, oh, they're a younger soul. I can either choose to engage in that spiral, or I can spiral over here somewhere else and do something else.
Right.
You know, but we can't just turn a blind eye either, because that's spiritual bypass. We can't just throw some glitter on it and be like, oh no, it's shiny and sparkly and nothing matters now, right? There's nothing bad going on.
Right. And that's how I approached it. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
I have to say something. I didn't call names. If you look in some of those pictures, there was so much anger. There was people yelling from their cars and flipping the bird from their cars, because there was so much anger. Like, what's going on here?
From everyone.
I was like, if I had a flag that says, Seattle Seahawks, cool. If I had one that says F the Raiders, that's going to get different attention. Right. One's positive, one's pro this, one's anti that. When you start putting anti out there, it really has a detrimental effect to your past life review and to your vibration immediately. So I rolled up, and one of the guys was standing by himself a little bit, and I said, "Come here, I want to tell you something." And he was apprehensive, and I understand why. I said, "Come here, a little closer." I said, "Every family that ICE destroys, God feels. Remember that." And then I drove off. I just gave him a little piece of information. Didn't attack him.
No.
I gave him information so we can make a better decision down the road. And when you look at it from an education point of view, then you can pull off via the FUs and the name calling. But a lot of people don't have the knowledge to teach them directly.
No.
And the only response they have is to give that anger back. So that's why we created this show, so we can actually give understanding. The left knows they're right, but they can't figure out the minutia, but why they're right. Why do I love this tree so much? I don't see it as just an object to create money, right? I know I'm right, but I don't know why I'm right, because you're an older soul. You have an attraction to whatever God has created. Well, younger souls don't have that attraction yet, and they only see how they can monetize things.
Fear, judgment, punishment.
Right. It's all about immediate results instead of the betterment of the whole.
Right.
Absolutely. And for me, it's not just a it's not just the naiveness of being a young soul, because that's an easy pass for them.
Right.
Because there are souls that deliberately choose, this is what I want to do in this cycle. This is what I want to be. I want that money. I want that power. I want that control. So young souls, yes, but also they're fear driven, because they're fear of losing their power over people, places, things. Their fear of losing their monetary control and gains, not now, globally, right? So it is a deliberate, it's not just being young, but it's also saying at times, knowing those choices and saying, I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to cause that. And you can tell the character of that person, because they're talking like this prison surrounded by alligators, right? This concentration camp.
Right, yeah.
Right? It's not the fact that they built it, but then they laugh when they say, oh, there's alligators, they could get eaten, and they laugh about it, right?
Sick.
What is that? What is that? What is that? And that is what people choose to follow. That is what people choose to let influence them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Those smiles and those laughs at the torture of someone that didn't even get a trial, that were kidnapped.
Right.
I don't understand that level of humanness. I would say it's the shadow people. Right? But it's the blackness. It's the
darkness.
They are the darkness that the rest of us search for a light in.
Right. Absolutely.
You know?
Thank you for sharing that.
And that's one of the things that it makes me laugh that they cover their face. They think that nobody's going to know. On the other side of the veil, we all know. We all know what you've done before you even interact with us. So, and birds of feather flock together.
Yes.
So lower vibrations will always be around lower vibrations. You're like, I want to be with Jesus. It's like, you're not. Because Jesus was up here. Jesus was love, compassion, acceptance.
It's the Christ consciousness. You got to get
I
there.
went to church. It's like, doesn't matter. Your vibration is so low. You won't feel comfortable around Jesus because that vibration was so high. And your vibration is so low. And you did it out of religion, not out of love. And that's the hardest part.
So
people
hard.
don't realize. Once people realize, anytime, like the alligators, anytime a person goes through a horrible death, God feels that. God feels the terror that goes through there. When being kidnapped, and not having a trial, God feels that. And those people that perpetrated it will be the receivers of it in a future incarnation, because everything that goes around comes around. It's not God's first rodeo. God will fix this situation. God created the karmic situation so that we could all learn, and nobody gets over on anybody else. I don't care how many dominated you, Trump or somebody else, Noam or whoever. It doesn't make any difference. They're not going to be on this with the veil saving your butt because they're going to be too busy trying to save their own.
Ooh. Exactly. And that, again, we all have a choice in everything we say, think, and do.
Right.
And, there's that quote, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. It doesn't mean that we can give them a pass and just wave our magic wand over them and be like, oh, I forgive you. But we do have to use our power of discernment. And you use your discerning, power when you went over there. You didn't use violence. No. You didn't use anger. You didn't use rage, your size, your voice, any of that. You were just like, hey, I want to share something with you. Let me help you.
Right. But when I left that situation, I was shaking.
It was not good
I was
for you.
shaking because the vibration was so low, and it was intensified in that whole area. And being more calm and passive, an older soul will be able to feel other energies a lot easier. Like I can be next to somebody and feel how they are as a human being, just because I can feel the vibration of their soul from afar. Something we can do on this side of the veil easily, something we have to work on here. And being in that volatile situation, I was just literally shaking, and I had to drive away. And Brandy helped calm me down, and then I was able to continue my day. But it was even just being around it was traumatic. I can only imagine being those people, going through their past life review and feeling it from the other side, without their filters. Their filters of their ego.
Yeah. Because the filters of the ego really truly justify.
Right.
What was your second point that you wanted to bring up earlier?
No, I was just, when he was talking about the eyes, I was thinking about being on the right side of religion, but the wrong side of God.
Right.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
We've talked kind of.
I was going to say, I think we've talked about
that a little bit here and there. You know? But, you could do everything right, like, what the preacher says or what the laws of the church say. But it doesn't mean that you're serving humanity or that you're caring or that you're loving.
Right.
It means you have a good attendance record on Sundays, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
What
How
is
much
the
of
value?
it?
What is the value of that?
Right.
How much is it? How much of it is a facade?
Right.
But really, again, our actions, our choices, our habits. That's going to show us who we really are.
Right.
And then moving from that, I wanted to ask a question.
Yes.
So some of these people that are working for ICE and just different areas and different agencies, they quote sign up for this. They're choosing this to be a job for money, right?
Yes.
What about the people who? And so there's repercussions of that because that's how they are treating other humans. What about the people who are like factory meat workers who harm animals just for the sake because they can? Because they're not doing it to a human, but they're taking out all their anger, aggression on this pig or this chicken or this cow or whatever it is.
Right. And now, and that's one thing. Trump just sued California because the price of eggs are too high because the chickens are raised too humanely. We need inhumane chicken growing so the prices go down because that's more important. The money is more important
Than the lives
of the chicken, and that's a young soul again.
Right.
So when you look at the liberals, they're like, no, there is a value that was created by source, that was created by God, and I have love for that animal. Even though I'm going to eat it, I want to make sure while it's still alive, maybe it's only alive for 6 months, 9 months, a year, whatever it is, it's going to have at least a decent way of living.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that when it is killed, it's killed quickly and humanely. So, and that's one of the things they want to make sure the animal is not distressed in a way that brings down, because older souls will feel the vibration in not only just in the living animal, but the dead animal too.
Absolutely.
So you can feel.
That's why I'm laughing over here because I
You
used
can
to live in
feel
a
the
ranch.
vibration of the animal. So,
yeah, absolutely.
So
whether it was alive or
right.
dead, I could still feel it.
You can still feel the vibration, and the vibration of the meat
And we
will
eat that.
will be
We eat that
dependent
meat.
upon how that animal is treated.
Yes.
So yes, there are ways to slaughter animals. They have the bolt, and they kill the cow immediately. They kill the chickens quickly,
Or the pigs or
the
whatever.
pigs, whatever. So the amount of stress and a volatile situation is very, very minimal, and it's done quickly and humanely.
For those who choose that.
Yes, who choose that. But then again, the younger soul always wants to know, I want the price to be down. I don't care if we have to pack, 1,000 in this little tiny compartment. I don't care. We want the price down.
And when we do that, some of these factory workers, they are overstressed, overworked, this and that, whatever. They have to keep production up high, whatever for the corporation is, whether you're working in a warehouse for trucks or animals or people, whatever it is, that production has to be made, right? But at what cost?
Right.
For the cost of that animal, sure, that soul of the pig is not going to turn into a human. So some humans can say, well, what does it matter? It's just a filthy pig. It's just a filthy animal. But that's God, right?
Right.
What are we doing for God?
Right.
I think it's just all with intent, right?
Exactly.
Everything serves a purpose, and the systems that we live, there's a food processing, right? But I also believe that people with disabilities and such are sent here to teach us,
Absolutely.
right? And from that perspective, if you watch a film of Temple Grandin, which is a living professor to this day, in her youth, revolutionized the cattle industry, understanding that they're going to end their life, but the intent to treat them humanely and with compassion up until that point.
Yes, yes.
Right?
Thank
And
you
that
for
movie is very inspiring, so just check it out.
What's it again?
Temple Grandin.
Okay. I wrote that in my own way. We'll see if I can read that later.
And people have to realize, getting back to the people that have issues with physical issues or whatever, born with them or not, they are here to teach us. And I was giving a ride to a gentleman, and he's from New York, and he said there was a certain group of people in New York that whenever they had a child that had a challenge, that they would treat that child like it didn't exist. Because it wasn't going to produce money. And I was like, man, that is so sad. That child was there to teach you humanity and compassion. Our children aren't here just to create money and resources for us. They're here to help us grow as human beings. And the the less resistant we are to that, and the more we accept that, the faster we grow, then the faster we can get off this rock. You know what I'm saying? The faster we can, okay, there's nothing left to learn. I've learned compassion and acceptance for all, unconditional love, and I can stop coming back. But until then, we have to look at these situations with a glass half full. Okay, what am I going to learn from this situation? And then I go ahead and do it instead of treating that individual lesser than.
Right. And truly, that's living the mindful way of what can I do in this moment to get out of this feeling, to get out of this thought, to get out of this habit, this emotion. Right. What can I do right now to not bypass my stuff, whatever I may be going through, right? Mentally, physically, emotionally, but also the things that other people are going through too. And I go back to that quote that I said a while back that Cinnamon helped me remember that I don't remember right now. But if you can't help them, then at least please don't hurt them, right? Dalai Lama, something along the lines of that. When we're gardening, we may find pests and critters in the garden. I have a choice. I can take it and I can smash it. I can to a living thing, or I can humanely remove it, go to another area. Maybe the birds are going to get it. Maybe a lizard's going to get it, or some other wildlife, but I don't have to cause it any more suffering and things like that. Same thing when I lived on the ranch. I would wake up in the morning at sunrise and I would sing to the Angus cows. I knew that eventually somebody was going to eat that burger. They were going to love that steak, whatever it was. My son and I, mindfully, when I was mindful before the pandemic, I would sing to the cows every day. Right. I got to help the owner corral them. You know, he was a redneck. He had other ideas, you know, but he loved his cows so much, and he did what he could to take care of them. Do I think that he's a bad person? No. Is he a little bit maybe misunderstood or inverted? Yes, in thinking, but in action, no. So that's why we always have to look at. Sometimes people have good intentions, but bad actions. Right. And that's where it gets gray. Right.
And when people realize that when you treat another animal good, you're treating God good. Right. When you treat another human being good, whether they have a challenge or not, you're treating God good. Whenever you say, you know what, I'm going to treat this human good, even though it breaks the law of a man that's man-made, but they're not hurting anybody. Okay, I'm okay with that. You know, because literally every single one of us break a law every single day. We go on the freeway and we go 1 mile an hour over the speed limit. Right. Should we all be deported? We also be thrown in jail? No. There's the spirit of the law and the letter of the law. And you look at the spirit of the law. If you're an immigrant and you're coming here doing what you say you're doing, you have a TIN number, you know, a taxpayer identification number, and you are working, you are not causing any harm to anybody. You're actually here as an act of love for your family to produce more money so that they can have a better way of living. It's an act of love. And that money will be used to take care of their children, their spouse, in a better way. And guess who's the recipient of that? God is. Exactly. So as your daughter gets new shoes and new dress because you're working in the United States, working in a field, you're able to buy them new clothes. You're able to take your wife out to dinner once in a while. Guess who's the recipient of that? God is. Right. But the ICE agents who come in and destroy that family, guess who's the recipient of that also? God is. So what do you want to put out in the world, and what do you want to take back home? Because whatever you take back home is exponentially more than it is here, because you have a feeling and emotion attached. Yeah. Right. And that's creating more. Right. And that's showing our truth. So that's why when we go to our past life review, you know, all, like you say, all intents and all purposes are known. So we can't escape the vessel of the ego with justification. We can't say, oh, well, it was just my job for me to do that to that person or to do that to that animal. It doesn't matter. If you can't help them, then don't hurt them. And if you can't figure out a job where you can't help, then don't frickin' hurt. Right. Don't. You know, and do what you can do. And sometimes people are like, well, I can't do anything to help. What can I do? You can pray. You can fix what's inside of yourself. You can do your spiritual practices. You can go donate your time, services, whatever, God's gift. Because as we know, our life is Source's gift to us, right? Because we're experiencing for Source. And then what we do with it, that's our gift back to Source. Right.
They can do exactly the opposite, right? Instead of lowering their vibration, they can increase their vibration and attract those people and do that. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Again, because it's all a choice.
Right. All things are possible with God, including raising your vibration and the vibration of the people you keep.
Right, exactly. Look at House of Frog. Full reliance on God, because you are knowing that you are augmenting the energy and vibration that is within you, that is God. And it's all it's all reliant on God. Isn't that what that is? You're
Absolutely.
literally augmenting the body. Like you say, breath augments the body. Why do you do your breath work? Because you're shifting that paradigm.
Yeah.
You're shifting so that you can make a better choice, a better action, have
the
better
conduit.
habits. Exactly. You are that conduit. I can't tell you, I mean, I can tell you to breathe, but I can't breathe for you. I'm not a machine. I can't force you to breathe, right? You have to do that for yourself. It is your choice to say, all right, I'm going to listen and I'm going to take a deeper breath. Just when I come to House of Frog and you guys help share things out with me, and you tell me to take a breath, it's my choice. I can go as deep or as shallow as I want to. That's why when we're here, we get to go as deep, as shallow as we want to in our personal growth and development. And that's why we have this show, is to talk about these things. Because yes, when you came home yesterday, you were not having the best experience, my love. And what do? We work through it. We don't just say, oh, it doesn't exist. That just didn't happen in our hometown on the corner. And when you showed me those pictures, I was appalled.
Me too.
I was appalled because it looked as though one of the people that was flipping somebody off looked like maybe they were against what the people were protesting about or what they were like speaking about on the corner. But you and some other friends from House of Frog, you guys just went out to like a protest recently, and you guys had a different experience. But what was your experience out there with people driving by and things? How was that?
The crowd there wasn't saying anything anti-anything.
No.
Right? Even names were not said. People were just there saying, this is us, right? And the people there, we choose harmony and peace and love, right?
Right.
And the only distraction to that was a small caravan of people with mega hats yelling F yous and just the fingers and
Right.
And the crowd's reaction was everyone just turned around and started saying, we love you. We love you. Just choose love. And they didn't know what to do with it. So they put their tail between what used to be balls and they drove off.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you guys had that experience. I'm glad that you guys are both, and you guys are all out there, doing what is yours to do, whether it's an intention or not. You have that purpose. Yes. The purpose is your intention, right? You decided to go there and be there at that certain time to show something. You happened to see something and showed up and decided, I'm going to say something and do something, right? And isn't that the whole part of it, is feeling authentic and feeling safe to where we can express. Yeah. And that should be a right for all people, all humans first.
Right.
Well, guys, thank you so much for sharing, your opinions, your ideas, your wisdom, and information regarding the disturbances that have been happening in the desert. It's not just the desert where we live. This is all across any desert across this whole planet. This is Earth School, and keep watering yourself where you are. Keep growing, keep learning, keep developing, keep having conversations. Thank you so much for being here. Todd and Robert, is there anything that you guys want to share that you didn't get to share to wrap it up for today?
You know what? It's behind me the whole time. Humanity first.
Yeah.
I support laws that protect humanity. I don't support laws that hurt humanity. Because we have a humanity first mentality. You have a God first mentality.
Absolutely.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
That's all I want to add.
Thank you. And sometime we'll break down the whole human idea. They always have love and laughter in your heart. Keep moving forward, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye.